guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today guys we are reading chapter 12 of Toby's story. And guys, I hope you're having a fantastic day and a fantastic summer. And guys, let's get started into chapter 12. Chapter 12. A few days later, Mona and I were playing training on the lawn again. And Patsy came out to visit us. Fran wants to see you both, Patsy said to Mona about Toby. Mona asked. I could feel her anxiety spike, so I licked her hands. What else? Patsy said with a sigh. I followed Mona and Patsy into Fran's office. Fran was sitting behind her desk, and there was something near in the corner. It was big, and it reminded me of a little of the metal cages some of my friends leaned on when they walked. I went over to sniff it. It did not smell fun. Patsy settled down on the little couch, and Mona was too nervous to sit. I tugged on her shoelaces. What's that? Mona asked, eyeing the metal thing. A compromise, Fran said. Well, Mona and Patsy looked at the metal thing. Fran went on. I know you've been training the dog more. Has it worked? Can he be a reliable therapy dog? Mona sighed. He's getting better. That's not what I asked. Well, no, not yet, Mona admitted. But everybody loves him. They really do. He's been walking with people on the treadmill, Patsy said quietly. They do more PT when he's there. My ears perked. Where were we going to do treadmill? So I've seen. Fran nodded. And I admit that he was helpful with Dorothy the other day. So here is my compromise. Toby can stay. He can stay? Mona burst out. Her face lit up with a smile. Oh, thank you, Fran. I jumped up on my back legs to lick Mona's hand. Wanting to join in her happiness. Besides, her fingers tasted like treats. Fran held up her hand. You didn't let me finish. He can stay as long as he remains in the crate when he's not working. As long as he remains in the crate when he's not working, he can help the residents on the treadmill. And he can play with the children who have relatives in hospice wing. And other than that, he's got to be in the crate unless you're training him. We can't have him running through the halls anymore. That's final. Mona's happiness drained away. In a crate? She asked. But he's never had any crate training. He won't understand why he's being shut up of energy. Nevertheless, that's my final decision, Fran said. Yes, ma'am, Patsy said. I sat down and leaned against Mona's leg to make her feel better. Once all the people were done talking, she and I could have a good game of chase that would fix everything. That night, after Mona fed me my dinner, we played in the TV room for a long time, wrestling with a rubber bone. It was excellent. Mona usually left right after giving me the food, but today she didn't seem to want to go. Mona, Patsy said, coming up to us with her purse over her shoulder. Time to leave. Oh, Mom, Mana said sadly. She let go of the bone, and I seized it in my teeth and ran around the room in triumph. I hate to shut him in there. He won't understand. I I know, but he'll probably just sleep, honey, and you can let him out in the morning. I just If I just trained him better, I'd feel like such a failure. Mom, no, Mana, sweetie, you're not a failure. Listen, we adopted Toby because the rancher told us he was very mellow and calm, and turned out to be a mistake. He was just tired because he was ill, and now he's better. That's not your fault or anybody's fault. Mana stood up and Patsy hugged her. You've been working so hard with him. You're learning a lesson that's that's good for a trainer. You can't go against a dog's breed. You can't train a beagle not to run. Mana sighed and hugged her mother back. Then she came to my side and pulled the chew toy from my teeth. I thought we were going to play more tug. So exciting. But instead, but instead, but instead, um, but instead, Mana walked me down the hallway to the little room where my bed was kept. To my surprise, where my bed was kept. To my surprise, the metal cage was from Fran's office was in my room now, and my bed was inside it. So were the bowls with my food and water. Most bewildering door to of the cage. What an odd way to play. Of course, I ran in to grab the toy, but when I turned back around so that Mana would and I could wrestle some more, Mana shut the door of the cage in my face. Bye, Toby, she told me, and her voice quivered. See you tomorrow. She departed very suddenly, leaving me behind. People are very odd sometimes, but well, food is food. I dropped the rubber bone and stuck my nose into the bowl and began eating in big gulps. Soon I'd finished dinner and licked the bowl clean. That was when I realized That's when I realized I could not get out of the cage. I pawed at the door and nudged it hard with my nose. It did not open. I'd bark so that Mona would understand that she had made a mistake, that she'd come back and get me. I tried getting my teeth around the wires that tasted cold and bitter and horrible. And no matter how I chewed, no matter how I chewed, no matter how I where is that? Bitter and horrible, and no matter how I chewed or tugged or twisted, I could not make them move an inch. What had happened? Why was I shut in here? Who was going to come back and let me out? If I truly belonged to Mana, she would not have left me in here. She would not have left me in here. That was such an awful thought that I had to go back to bed and lie down. But I couldn't sleep, so I began to chew and tug on the soft cloth that covered my bed, just like I used to chew on my feet when they itched and ached. So Mana was not my person. Was that really true? Would someone else come and let me out of here? Eddie, Patsy, Tyler? The cloth on my bed ripped and something white and fuzzy popped out. It did not taste good at all, but I still nipped at it. Teeth. Then I trapped it under one paw, and pulled it with my teeth until it came apart in shreds. I didn't know why I did these things, but they made me feel a little better. After soon time had passed, and my bed couldn't be chewed anymore. I got up and bit my cage again, but it only hurt my teeth and mouth. And still nobody came. This was dreadful. I had never felt so alone, so abandoned, so lost. I could not stand it. Somebody I knew just what to do with feelings like this. I sat down, lifted up my muzzle, and let the sadness out in a long, mournful sound. Aroo! Aroo! I howled. I did it over and over. Then finally, the door to my small room opened. The light from the hallway spilled in. There in her wheelchair was Dorothy. Granddad was pushing her, leaning on the handles of her chair. "Toby," Dorothy said. I stopped howling. My tail even stirred to life. My friends had come. Thank goodness. Good thing I've been spending all that time on the treadmill with Toby, Granddad said, wheeling Dorothy's wheelchair farther into the room. I don't think I could have pushed this contraption otherwise. There, can you get Toby's cage open? A couple of other friends were standing in the door, looking in as Granddad moved Dorothy closer to me. She reached down and opened the lock on the door. In a flash, I had shoved the door open and barreled in Dorothy's lap and licked her gentle hands. I raced around Dorothy's and licked his knees. I greeted all my friends in the hallway, and then ran, skidding around corners. Where's corners? Skidding around corners. Skidding around. Skidding around corners, sliding into a wall, jumping up and running some more. Maybe I belonged to Granddad and Dorothy, or maybe I didn't. I still wasn't sure. They'd come for me, and that was all that mattered. I was free, and I could have fun with all my friends, and I would never go back inside that cage again. Never. Okay, chapter 13, guys. So, guys, we're ending this video right here, but little does Toby know that if he does not go in there while he's training, if he's not training or like playing or helping like the injured people, he won't be able to stay at the hospital, sadly. But I hope you enjoyed that chapter, guys, and I hope you enjoyed your day, and I hope you're enjoying your summer. So, guys, we're gonna end this video right here. And guys, I hope you enjoyed. Bye. See you.